Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the final checkout of a really cool Candlestick Western Electric and what would have been a Magneto box, which has now been converted to a Magneto bell box. And this is Brian's equipment from New Jersey. And we did an earlier checkout video of this equipment. And in that earlier checkout video, we showed that this bell box, I believe, was owned by Brian's dad, or he had started a little project that he was going to make this Magneto box, a bell box, and a telephone. And so they had the Candlestick, put a board in the base of it, a network, and then we put a new receiver inside the receiver capsule and a newer style mic, so that when Brian uses this equipment, it'll be just like a new phone. And so he'll have the quality and the sound that he'll need to use this. We also installed a cloth-on-cloth receiver cord, and we installed a cord that goes from the Candlestick to the Magneto bell box, which is 6 foot. So that has a 6 foot length cord on it in cloth. And so now what Brian's going to do when he gets this back home where it belongs and gets it into the situation, he's going to actually hardwire it. So there was no use or reason to put a modular port for a line cord. We just have a block in there so that he can simply bring his line in and hardwire this telephone. So a little bit of everything had been done to this telephone. Since this telephone just had kind of a big hole right here, because the ideal they had was to put a bell in it, an antique bell. But with the Magneto coming up to about here, there was no real way to put a real bell in, like an old wooden wall bell or an old bell box bell with a solenoid on it. It would not have fit. And he was also missing the decorative piece here that has the screw in it that shuts the door and you can lock the door. So there was a lot done. We have our line that's hardwired going in through the side. There's a little hole on the side that was made from in the past. Looked like it might have been for maybe a hook switch or something. And if Brian wants to do away with that, he could simply put some wood filler in that hole. That was the only thing that we did not deal with. And it's not that bad of a hole, and it's not a big deal. So what we also did was we put some eyelets, some brass eyelets in the top of the phone. And just kind of give you a look at it in the bottom of the phone. And they're for when you hang it. So we're going to kind of open the door now of this bell box Magneto, and we have his personal information covered up. But what we did here is, and I'll explain it, is these are the bell line, and then we had to rewire everything. Also had to install a switch coming off the Magneto so that we could break the line voltage away for when you crank this and ring the bell. You don't want to backfeed voltage into the phone line. And then we have our hardwire connections right here. He can simply, these are original type connectors, so he would just hardwire. Right now we just have some alligator clips on them. So it was quite a job to get all this straightened out, because it was kind of a project. And as you can see, the hole that was cut in the door that we had to hide with the bell clapper cover that we had to make. We actually had to make that because it is really covering up the hole. The bells in the front, this bell here has a solenoid underneath of it, an open axled solenoid. And it turned out really nice. So anyway, let's do some checks on this telephone. First, I'm going to go ahead and crank the telephone. And now what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and swing the video around here a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell. I'm going to let that go a couple times. Now this is the line voltage ringing the bell. I'll let that go one more time. Give you some dial tone. And so what we also want to do is we want to check for modulation. So I'm going to give you some dial tone. And then I want to tap. And if you watch this red light on the analyzer, every time you see that, that's 100% modulation. So now what I'll do is go ahead and speak into the transmitter of the Candlestick. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Hello, hello. So we know it has 100% modulation, and we know we have receive. And so what we can do now is I'll go ahead and move the unit over into a regular line, and we'll use another telephone. I'll give you some dial tone. Use another telephone, and I will call a time and temp number, and then hang up.
Good evening. Offenburg St. Clair Auto Mall with 5 new car lines at one location in O'Fallon. Offenburg.com. Today is Monday, May 21st. The time is 10:19. Current temperature 69 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast. Mostly clear tonight, lows around 50. Mostly sunny on Tuesday, a high in the upper 70s.
Okay, so we can do that with one other number. I'll give you some dial tone. We'll call my number. So now that we know that this telephone is fully functional for Brian, I think he's going to really enjoy this. It was, I think, a project they had started long ago, and it just never ever came to be, just for the simple fact that there's a lot of factors involved in trying to create this is a Magneto box, and trying to make it a bell box and everything. There just was not the clearance that you would need for the solenoid to fit in top of the Magneto, and it was a great ideal. There was a lot to it, so it's just not a simple project. And now it's all been taken care of, and Brian can go ahead and get this telephone back and hang the bell box like he wanted to do, and everything will be fully functional now for him. And I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell one more time with the analyzer. We'll let that go a couple times. Now, we'll go ahead and show you that the line voltage is broke away when you try to touch the crank. And that's so that you don't feed any back voltage into the telephone line. So we know that that is taken care of. And now what we can do is I'll go ahead and crank the telephone. he's just got a really cool setup here. He's got the Western Electric Candlestick, and he has the Western Electric Bell and Magneto box now, and it's just a great setup. And it's going to look great when he sets it up. If he wants to take a picture of this when he gets it finished, I'd like to put it up on the web page, because I think it's just going to be a really cool situation for him when he finishes it up. And after all the years it probably sat around, it's finally finished, and it turned out really nice. A couple of things I want to talk about, though, before we go, is the bells probably should not ever be touched, because the actual solenoid is behind this bell, and you want to, leave that intact so nothing gets disturbed. Another thing would be on the receiver capsule, and I run into this from time to time. The cap does not want to fit real well on the threads, so there's a material that we use that helps the threads, and so it probably should not be taken off, and there would be no real reason to take off the cap, but it should be left alone and intact, and there shouldn't be any reason to take it off. And we also went in with our candlestick here, kind of got a roll of tape there holding it up. We went into the bottom of the bell box with our cloth cord at the bottom, and that's a factory hole. That was there originally. And so really what it was just a Magneto box. It was not a bell box. It was just a Magneto box, and there was no bell on it. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. This is Brian's Equipment from New Jersey. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.